Yeah, it's Pop and Peeps, Tough Version 787 here today for top 5 worst episodes of The Loud House. The Loud House and Gumball. I know this should have been my intro, but still. Those two shows, pretty much the only things. The Loud House, only thing keeping Nickelodeon alive. Gumball, only thing keeping Cartoon Network alive since Teen Titans Go lost its quality as soon as it hit season 4. And today we're going to talk about one of them. The Loud House, as you would see by the title of this video. This is the top 5 worst episodes of The Loud House. Now, before I get into this, The Loud House, well, this video is a critique, which is labeled fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976. I do not own anything that I am talking about. The Loud House belongs to Chris Savino, Nickelodeon, Viacom, and Paramount Pictures. Anyways, on to the list. Number 5, The Sweet Spot. I'm surprised that this episode hasn't been talked about that much. It is a really annoying episode. And all 5 episodes on my list, guess what? Lincoln torture. Yep. Torturing the main character of the show. These writers took something from SpongeBob. Really? Oh, and just so you guys know, I once had a script. And guess what? The script was deleted somehow. Anyways, Lincoln wants a seat. And he is punished for it. Guess what the plot is? Lincoln wants a seat in the car and tries to find out all the possible seating situations to make everyone happy and make sure he has the seat. And he is punished for wanting a seat one time. That's it. One seat, one time. Really? Sure, it's not as over the top as, let's say, what happened to Squidward and Choir Boys, but still, it's annoying. That just shows you that these characters didn't know what they were doing. Number 4. I'm sure you guys expected this higher on the list, but Brawl in the Family. Lincoln's sisters are Patrick levels of cunts here. Lori and Lenny get into an argument which causes the whole family to go into a sister argument protocol, and the only one who actually has to suffer for it is Lincoln. Moving on. Number 3. One of the Boys. This episode, wow, if it didn't give us 10 of the same character for the boys, I'd be fine, even with the stereotypes, which I shouldn't be fine with. Oh yeah, and anyone ever notice that us white males, we're fine when people make stereotypes about us, we laugh, but as soon as we say something about anyone who's not white or anything about a female, they flip out and get triggered. Yeah. Feminists, shut the fuck up. Anyways, Lincoln is tired of the life of his sisters because he is always gone against by them because he is the male, and he is different from them because they're females. They always want to do something different from him because they're females. But he gets a little wristwatch from Lisa that allows him to go into a dimension where he has 10 brothers. And all the brothers are just Lynn. Oh yeah, plus they constantly bully him, and when he tries to get away from them, they just bully him more. Patrick levels of cunts for the brothers as well. Number 2. Now this will surprise most of you guys that it's not number 1. I'm pretty sure you already know what it is because I said that, but no such luck. Okay. This episode, don't act like it doesn't annoy me, because it does. For one, Lynn pushed that on Lincoln, and Lincoln noticed he was suffering from the beginning. If he didn't notice until later that he was suffering, then the episode might have been a bit better. But the main fact of why I hate this episode is the portrayal of Lynn. How she is willing to make one person suffer for her actions and let them pretty much just be disowned by the family. And that really shows out of character actions by a character. While yes, she is a tomboy, she actually does care about her brother. Plus, what the family does is so over the top. They lock him out of the door. They lock him out of the house. He has to poke his head through the doggy door to talk. And they give him his food outside, where he has to stay in the doghouse. Yep. Anyways, let's get on to number 1, because that will lead up at least half of the time I have. Number 1. This episode offends me on a personal level. Pretty much as much as Cephalopod Lodge from SpongeBob. Pretty much any SpongeBob episode is bad, actually. And the girlfriend from The Amazing World of Gumball, even. Number 1, sleuth or consequences. Honestly, I hope this episode gets brought into the spotlight now. I hope the mysterious Mr. Enter does something on an animated atrocity talking about this, because if I can't bring it into the light, I don't know who would be able to, but this episode is the worst episode of good cartoons to ever be on any cartoon station on television. Lincoln torture is taken to the next level. Lincoln wants to go to a cosplay convention, so he's dressed up as Ace Savvy. Then he gets made fun of. Oh boy, we already know where this is going. His sisters laugh at him constantly, and when Lincoln goes to use the restroom, the toilet floods, and everyone automatically jumps the shark and gets mad at Lincoln just because he's clogged it a few times. Then Lola does this portrayal that is also out of character. I'm telling Dad stuff. The only time she's ever portrayed as a tattletale was in A Tattler's Tale. But in this episode, she is portrayed as a snitchy little brat who only cares about herself and loves to get others in trouble as much as she can. And that's honestly very out of character for her. And then Lincoln spends a decent middle half of the episode teaming up with Lucy to try to find out who the real culprit of the toilet clog is. Okay, decent middle part. Now all you gotta do is make the characters redeemable in the end. Oh, of course they're not gonna do it. Look at that beginning. In the end, he finds out it was Lucy because she was reading pretty much My Little Pony thing and The Loud House. And she had tried to hide it because she knew everyone would make fun of her for it. So Lincoln takes the blame, and we already know where this is going. The girls laugh at him and make fun of him again. And then Lola tells the original Lynn Loud, not Lynn Loud Jr., but Lynn Loud Sr., the father. And the father grounds him. He can't even go to a cosplay convention because something that he didn't do. Lola's a little bitch. He's made fun of for wanting to go to a cosplay convention and taking the blame for something that he didn't do just to keep his sister's dignity alive. Oh, and also, this episode takes really offensive jabs at nerds and people who are into those girly cartoons. I mean, sure, I despise the Powerpuff Girls. I despise My Little Pony. And I'm not just talking about the original My Little Pony or the 2016 Powerpuff Girls. I'm even talking about things like Friendship is Magic and the old Powerpuff Girls. Plus, shots at nerds. I'm a nerd myself. I'll admit it. You can send me... You'll make me look at something Pokemon, I will buy that as much as and I will save up until I have enough money to buy it if I don't have the money right away. Because I am a nerd. Seeing that episode doesn't just offend me on a personal level. It makes me want to rip my own skin off and slap the writers with it. And honestly, that's kind of an underwhelming thing to do. Honestly, I hope this episode gets more hate because it really, well, aside from the fact that it deserves it, it's really overrated and underhated. When we see bad episodes of good cartoons, we think of things like No Such Luck. But we should be thinking of, well, A Pal for Gary as another example. One Course Meal, Pet Soda Pat, Yours, Mine, and Mine, some other stuff like that. But we should be looking at the episodes where characters are portrayed completely out of character and other characters are tortured for nothing. Like Cephalopod Lodge. The girlfriend. And now... Sleuth or Consequences. Anyways, guys, that's how bad that episode was. And I'd like to remind you again, this is a critique, which is labeled fair use under the Copyright Act of 1976. I do not own the Loud House, and everything that I talked about in this review is owned by Chris Savino, Viacom, Nickelodeon, and Paramount Pictures. This has been Type 787, and I am out of the house. Bye.